Every matter has been put to rest pending the next election. But meanwhile, all is not well with Kogi chapter of People's Democratic Party. The recent comments by the governorship candidate, Senator Dino Malaya, has also drawn concern among party members, even to the point that the Kogi State chapter of PDP are threatening to suspend Senator Dino Malaya, who was the governorship candidate of the party in the last election. And to make matters even worse, the appearance of Governor Usman Adodo of Kogi State with 10 governors of People's Democratic Party has also set tongues wagging in the picture last weekend. All of this has been a concern on the politics of Kogi State. Everyone are having to suspect every move by some party stakeholders. Both Senator Dino, the governor himself, and everyone. These are the issues I will be touching tonight on the program Big Talk. We'll dive into the politics of Kogi State and also underscoring the fact that the verdicts have been pronounced. I mean, the Supreme Court is the last bus stop. What happens next is that you wait for the next election afterward. But the review, the reactions is still coming on, and that's what we'll be spotlighting on the course of the program. We'll also look at the issue of national security, where the people are saying that the new DSS and NIA, DG, have a whole lot to do to fix the security of this country. On the program tonight, we'll be looking at that issue. Do stay with us. When we return from this break, my guest is live here in the studio to start the conversations, and of course, we hope to have you stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us on Big Talk, a political program. Of course, we'll begin by analyzing issues in Kogi State. I mean, the fact that the Supreme Court has spoken, what are the people saying? What Kogi State, I mean, what are they looking forward to in the next dispensation of leadership of Governor Usman? I've been joined by the PDP member, David Itokba, who's live here in the program. Thanks so much for joining us on our program.
Michael, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, a lot is already happening. People are reacting towards the judgment of the Supreme Court. Let me just get, what is the stand of your party in respect to, you know, the judgment, the outcome of the election, the last November election in Kogi State?
Thank you for that question. Well, for now, the party in Kogi State, as regards the Supreme Court judgment that passed the judgment in favor of Governor Ododo of the APC, quite frankly with you, there have not been any reaction from the party because the party is clearly in disarray.
So the party is not together now?
The party is not together, clearly. The party is not together. So it is only, you know, individuals like us, stakeholders, that have one or two things to say as regards that judgment. But the party as a whole, as an entity, has not come up with any form of reaction to say, okay, this is our official position, this is our official stand as regards the Supreme Court judgment that favors Ododo over every other candidate in that election.
So when you look at the election, before we come into your internal politics, many will say it was just like the candidate of AAC reacting that, I mean, it was violence, rigged, and all of those terminologies. I understand that the Supreme Court has spoken, so it has put to rest every persuasions and whatever you may probably hold. But in deepening the internal democracy in Kogi State, are you satisfied about the outcome of November election moving forward?
Mike, I'm glad you said that the Supreme Court has passed its judgment, and every other thing now is just paperwork and then, you know, analysis.
Personal opinion.
Personal opinions. Well, I personally was involved hugely.
You were in the election?
I was in the election. I partook in that election firsthand. So I witnessed firsthand everything that happened in that election. Critically, like the Nigerian state has always been in recent times, elections are not free or devoid of, you know, malpractices and what have you. So it is natural to say that the election had its own very flaws, many complications and flaws. For example, I will quickly dive into something. As early as 10 a.m. that morning, results were already flying around. 10 a.m. in the morning. So electorates were wondering, where did these results are emanating from? Where did you get these numbers from? Who and who has, you know, voted for all these numbers to come? But then it also has its own, it also has its own peculiarities. There were so many, you know, issues that happened because the election itself was not really democratical in nature because of the so many things that played out. There was the ethnic divide, the ethnic agenda that played out. So people were found voting for their own people and all that. So nobody was talking about issues. Nobody was.
So it was a fight between majority and minority.
It was a fight between majority and the minority. It was also a battle between the various tribes in the state. Nobody was looking at, oh, how do we take this state to the next level? How are we going to improve on the lives of our citizens in the state? How do we improve on our decayed infrastructure? How do we take our IGR to the next level? How do we pay salaries and all that? But I think, as regards the salary, to be fair to the governor, Usman Ododo, I think he is trying personally. Yes, the election that brought him to office might be flawed. But he himself, I think he sat down and have a deep think, and he's trying to, reset the whole agenda. I mean, some of his moves recently have actually, pointed to the fact that, look, I am poised to set things right. I am eager to set things right from wherever we are coming from. But then, the election itself was marred by so many irregularities.
What brought him to office? Well, as I earlier said, the Supreme Court has spoken, so whatever we're having
is
now...
academic exercise.
It's just an opinion. But in particular, are you saying that the former governor, Mr. Bello, in nowhere did good to Kogi? Because we've seen these issues of salary, owing workers' salary, issues of the fact that he didn't do well. Now he's facing trial with the FCC about money laundering, all of this issue. Is it that we can point, to some development by the former administrations where we are seeing Usman Ododo trying to inherit and consolidate on that?
To be fair to you,
what is the foundation?
You see, Kogi State, let me give you the basics of Kogi State. Let me lay a quick foundation for you. You see, Kogi State is largely, in fact, 90% a civil servant state. So everybody, technically, however you look at it, has to depend on the government's inflow of salaries. So once that is cut short, then you find out that a lot of people in the state are stricken down by poverty and hunger. So that's exactly what played out. The issue of the salary was not something he handled very well. Because here to an extent, he said, okay, the wage bill was over-bloated, he needed to do a lot of screening, that there were ghost workers and all that. And that took a whole long time, for almost 4 years. Yeah, after the 4 years, people were receiving percentage salaries. Of course, the buck stopped at the table. You cannot blame any other person. Good or bad, the governor has to take responsibility for whatever actions that is meted out on the states. So the issue of the salary was totally black. Apart from a few projects here and there, which we heard that some of these projects were actually funded by the World Bank. I don't think the governor really tried. To be fair to him, he didn't really try in managing the affairs of the state. But then, all that is in the past now. We are glad that the new guy is trying to do something, in sharp contrast with whatever foundation he met on ground.
I really love that because it's very rare to find oppositions that are having to praise where they are doing well and also criticize. But let's look at the recent statement by Senator Dino. He said that your party is sinking, that your party is, if you want, use the worst word you may probably describe what he said, that there is no hope and future for People's Democratic Party. And it has drawn a lot of concern because this is a party that gave him, a ticket in the last election. This is a party that has made him senator. So many people who said this is a party that has been able to, contribute to his, his political ambition. We know where. I understand he has also been in APC and all of that. But give us a proper understanding. Does this in any way reflect the position of the people of Kogi State? Because that's your governorship candidate that is speaking. Probably he just took the fact that he didn't emerge at the last election. He would have been a governor of Kogi State. He's making that statement that your party is sinking. As a member of the party, how do you receive this statement?
Michael, this is going to be a long discussion. First of all, let me point out something you said now. The PDP, the People's Democratic Party, don't give people tickets. Though it's a regular word we hear out there every day, but the People's Democratic Party, be it APC or whatever, they don't hand over tickets to those are anti-democratic practices. The truth is that primary elections are contested, and then the winner gets the ticket.
Yes, he's receiving the ticket from the party.
No, but you made it look as if, okay, we just called him. The party just said, oh, Senator Dino Melaye, come. He worked tirelessly for that ticket.
To end the ticket from the People's Democratic Party.
So having said that, true to Senator Dino Melaye, what he said is the true position of things, without missing words.
So you are saying that the party is sinking?
No, the party is sinking. It's obvious the party is sinking. It's obvious, at least in my state. I've just said, you asked the question earlier in the program, and I told you that a judgment of this magnitude, that the party has not been able to come up with an official position. Oh, this judgment is good. Oh, this judgment is not good. And then you are now asking me if what I think, if what Dino said is true. Of course, it's true, clearly. The party in the state is largely divided and fragmented by so many reasons. There is the selfish interest which politicians will always, go after. There is also the issues of people trying to pocket the party as if it were their own personal estates. There were also issues of impunity. There were also issues of people working against the party in the last general election. And then we've heard stories of people saying, okay, Dino did not win the election, Dino this, Dino that. We had 10 aspirants that went into that particular contest. 7 of them were from Kogi East, and 3 were from Kogi West. Of course, the zone where Senator Dino Melaye comes from. True to human nature, we're expecting that, okay, if you badly wanted this, I mean, you guys would have reached a consensus and say, okay, let us push one person out from our own zone. It is only normal that if your votes are divided by 7 people, of course, the zone with the 3 aspirants, one of them would definitely emerge. And that was what happened. So any issue you hear about people saying, okay, the party was handed over to Dino and all that, those were all figments of their own imaginations. Nothing of such. Dino worked tirelessly.
Do you felt Dino won the primaries?
Fair and square.
Because people are saying that the primaries was not even conducted.
I was there. Primaries were conducted. We were there from morning till evening, up until when results. It was the former governor of Kaduna State, Senator Ahmed. I've forgotten his name. He was one time the national chairman of our state, or of the party. He was the one that conducted the election. And we were there up until McCarthy, Senator Ahmed McCarthy.
So why were they not able to manage that? Because there are always post-elections issues where a candidate or aspirant that has emerged candidate try to bring everybody on board to see how they can work together.
That again brings me to the confirmation that the PDP is sinking. Because the party has been bad.
It's not Senator Dino that ought to do that as a candidate, as at that time becoming the leader of the party.
Excuse me, let me lay some quick facts to you. As the leader of the party, being the governorship candidate, Senator Dino Melaye, at least I am aware that he reached out to almost every one of them that contested that election. And the proofs are there. The facts are there in the public. So he reached out to everybody. But you see, the PDP has been characterized with this thing that, okay, look, if I don't get it, nobody should get it. Let me tell you, nearly all the people that contested that election with Dino Melaye worked against Senator Dino Melaye.
During the election?
Yes, during the election. That's the fact. Some even collected mobilization. Some even collected, how will I even put it? Where, of course, politics, logistics, and all that. And they did not work for him. Go and have meetings with your constituents and tell them that, okay, look,
did they agree that we are done together? I mean, at the process of trying to bring everybody together before the election.
Those were mere lip service. Some of them will tell you, I'm with you, but those were mere lip service. None of them ever went home to meet with their people and say, look, this is our candidate.
But it's a penalty to those actions.
Is the party strong enough to assert those penalties? That is the question. And that brings us back to what we were saying earlier. The party is sinking.
So you may say that the description of Senator Dino about People's Democratic Party can only be limited to Kogi State.
Not just Kogi State. It's not just Kogi State. In fact, I want to believe that the statement credited to the Senator of the Federal Republic, Senator Dino Melaye, is not even just about Kogi State. It is about the party in general. Are we blinded to what is happening in the national, at the national level of the People's Democratic Party, where we have an acting chairman that has refused to vacate his office and go back to his own office that he was elected for, where we have a chairman that have refused to enforce disciplinary measures on people that worked against the party in the 2023 general elections? I mean, what are we saying?
This addition that, some persons are saying we have to handle it with care. Because if it may come from another angle, some people will say, people that are with Atiku, because it looks that this is the issue of Atiku scam and Wike scam. It is also very strong, because we have to understand that this thing is in existence. Having inference where people will say, if Atiku people are saying, punish and suspend people from Wike people are also saying, Atiku people also cause damage of the party. They ought to have left the ticket to the south and all of this consideration. There are issues that so no one may be served at the end of the day.
Mike, this has nothing to do with either Atiku's camp or Wike's camp. I mean, The letters and the spirit of our constitutions are clear on these issues. Anti-party is an unpardonable betrayal in the People's Democratic Party. So it has nothing to do with whose horse is God. It has nothing to do with Atiku. It has nothing to do with Wike. Whoever is found culpable, whoever is found wanting, should be dealt with according to the letters and spirit of our constitution.
But do you agree that literally many people in the party are not clean? One way or the other, you will find people at fault.
Well, like every other human being, nobody is completely without blemish.
So you understand that it becomes a very sensitive issue to manage, because I understand it has to affect some of these decisions, interpretations of what the constitution is saying. But when you look at the fact that there are dynamics on ground, the politics on ground, what caused the removal of the chairman, the national chairman? Are you?
The removal of the national chairman that's the former national chairman, Professor Iyorchia Ayu, cannot be too far from, internal squabbles.
So would you say the internal squabble as again is the issue of Wike and Atiku?
If you look at what played out pre that 2023 primary election, the presidential primary election, I think it is only those that do not have clear understanding of the picture, the clear understanding of the workings of the People's Democratic Party, that will tell you that, okay, Atiku has erred in one way, or this person has erred against this person in one way. No. I understand the contention here is about where to zone the ticket to. Now, whatever happens in the People's Democratic Party cannot be judged by whatever is happening somewhere else. The truth is that if you look at the People's Democratic Party, we have produced how many presidents in the People's Democratic Party? We have Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who spent 8 years as a president. We had Umaru Musa Yar'Adua of blessed memory, 2 years. And then we had Goodluck Jonathan, doctor, that spent about 6 years. So if you look at all these things together, how many years is that? So we are having 8 plus 2, that's 10, plus 6, that's 16 years. Now, out of these 16 years, the northern extraction of the party spent 2 years as president. Of course, we all know the story. It's not something I want to go back into for sake of time. And then Jonathan did 6 years. So, in all honesty, who do you think has been shortchanged in this arrangement? The North.
You mean the internal politics of the People's Democratic Party?
I'm talking about the internal politics of the party. So if we have to go by what has transpired, then the North still have another shot at the presidency. And that it was on that agreement. And mind you, for everything that transpired up until the day of that primary election, were all transparent. They were all transparently done. There was no shady deals. In fact, these same people that are making all sorts of trouble, that worked against the party in 2023, they schemed and schemed and schemed until they schemed themselves out of the equation. That's the fact. That is the fact. Now, take for example, there were so many committees. There was the Governor Bala-led committee, a fact-finding committee on what to do as regards going into the 2023 general election. And that committee pointed out that, look, on the basis of zoning, it should either be zoned to the southeast or the northeast. Because these two zones are the ones that have not produced presidency. And then he further, in that same committee, in that same report, he now went further to say that, but for the purpose of merit, it should be left open. Are you getting me? And then what happened next was that, okay, they set up another review committee headed by the former governor of Benue State, His Excellency, Dr. Otom. And that committee also upheld the report of the Bala that, okay, it should be thrown open because they felt, okay, they are better equipped to get that ticket. And that was what played out. So how then can one man or some group of persons say that, okay, no, we have been shortchanged. No, it is the turn of the South. That election was as plain, as faultless. In fact, one of the most transparent elections you can ever have in the country. And that was what played out. So the issue of, okay, it was supposed to be the southern turn, it was supposed to be the northern, those were just distractions.
Because the reason I'm asking that question is because the statement of Senator has also created a whole lot of concern nationally, because we are saying the party, even by rating, you will say People's Democratic Party are the first opposition, or would I say, the strongest opposition party we have in the country. by rating, even when Labour Party are trying to also contest with that. It means that the party ought to have fixed them, put the house together ahead of the next election in a way of moving forward.
Oh, yes.
The statement of the senator, it seems that the senator is also in a way trying to dump the party, because some people will say that Senator Dino is not, a one stable person. He is either in PDP today or will go to APC tomorrow. Is that the situation in Kogi? Because we are also we're also concerned that the internal crisis in your party, in your state, is also transcending to the national politics.
The truth is that I do not think, in all honesty, that anybody can nail Senator Dino Melaye to saying that, okay, I'm about to leave the party, or I want to leave the party. In my own interpretation, I feel that the import of what Senator Dino Melaye said is like a cautionary message to the party that, look, all is not well with the party.
So the setting up of the committee, the disciplinary committee, the reconciliation committee.
I was here. You hosted me the other day virtually, and I remember saying something, and I'm still going to say that thing again. I said, look, if you look at the disciplinary committee and you look at the reconciliatory committee, they are filled with characters who have soiled their hands with so many anti-party activities. Very unstable characters. And I also remember saying that the last time we had Congress in Kogi State, I saw that fellow who hijacked the Congress materials for a single individual. I saw him on that reconciliation committee. How do you expect people to take these people seriously? How? Because you are seeing clearly that these were the people that cheated you in this election. These were the people that caused harm for the party. And they are still coming around to come and say, oh, we want to form a reconciliation committee. You can't take such, people seriously. And let me tell you, yes, it is true. The PDP, as it stands, it's supposed to be the largest opposition party in Nigeria as we speak. But the fact is this: the PDP also have internal mechanism by which all these issues are resolved. All these crises would be resolved. But the truth is this: if there are people deliberately sitting on this mechanism and not ready to activate this mechanism, then we are only wasting our time.
So are you saying that your last, state congress that saw the emergence of your party chairman probably was also, not well handled by the national?
You mean Kogi State?
Yes.
There was no congress.
What happened? How do we have the state chairman?
We don't have state chairman as we speak. We don't have state chairman as we speak. So when people start making all sort of noise, for example, I read somewhere that a group known as is it Frontiers or whatever. Man, these are hatchet men. These are people you call to just dangle little peanuts for them, and then they begin to write whatever they want to write. Who is going to expel Senator Dino Melaye or suspend him from the group? We don't even have a working committee. So you can see when people, it's not just writing whatever you feel like.
Who are those responsible putting the House of Kogi State chapter together?
They have a caretaker committee, but the caretaker committee powers are limited. They cannot suspend.
How about the word suspension?
The word suspension. So who is going to trigger it?
You don't have the senator. Senator Dino does not have a word chairman.
Who is going? No, even if he has a word chairman, who is going to trigger it?
Are you saying that Senator Dino is bigger than other politicians that have been suspended by the word?
Mike, I just told you that Kogi State PDP is in disarray. I just told you that we don't even have a working committee in the state.
So that means it's looking as if Kogi is now a one-party state.
Well,
or you have given power to SDP because...
No, we have not given power to SDP.
But SDP came second in the last election.
It was a tribal agenda.
And they made him to come second.
It was a tribal agenda.
By number confirmed by INEC, they are second position.
I am telling you, Michael, I am telling you,
it means that the
Michael,
SDP
I am telling you that expedition was a tribal agenda. And I will tell you also that half of the people in PDP were the ones that aided and abetted that tribal agenda. It's a fact. We don't need to
so for SDP to come second.
For SDP to come second.
So if anything would have happened at the court, it means that
nothing would have happened.
So that was why PDP were not too strong in the court.
No. We already know how it was going to play out. So there was no point wasting your time. That's the fact.
So what was the fair way forward? Because this is a political party. Many Nigerians probably may said they did well. When you look at how things were, it looks that PDP was the way to go, but APC are now in power. You ought to be the mouthpiece of many Nigerians criticizing what government are doing, also engaging the system. But it seems the party is quiet. We can't find heavy opposition as what we used to have from SCN and all of this political party engaging the government of the day. What's the way forward from your personal concern?
You see, Mike, and this is not just to you, and I think to Nigerians as a whole, for the party to regain its purpose, to want to take this country forward, to take government from the ruling party and take this
Start from your state. Are you sure you take over from Kogi State?
If we get our acts right. If we get our acts right.
So do you
And-
feel
and what-
PDP
and what do we do? And how do we-
have supporters in Kogi State?
And I am telling you that PDP is one of the parties with the largest structure in Nigeria. Every ward, every community, there is presence of PDP.
That
but the only
has
thing
not translated to vote.
that is because we are not coming together in unison to chart a way forward. The party is being plagued by selfish, interests, by people who do not believe in the core values of the party, by people who do not have the DNA of the party in their body. The PDP carries a DNA. There are people who only think, in fact, most of the people you see parading themselves around the party now are people that do not even know what the party stands for. These are people that do not even know who were the founding fathers of the party. These are people that do not even know that the party has a vision. So they only use the party, they only saw PDP as a vehicle to wherever they are going to. And once they get there, they begin to misbehave. And that's the truth. I have no apologies about that. And until we get it right as a party, until we know that, look, this party is not any single individual's party. It's not any single individual's property. It belongs to the people. And that is why it was christened People's Democratic Party. Until we begin to shed personal interest and begin to look at collective interest on how we can move the country forward, until there is a true healing process, there is a true reconciliation.
So what we are having now is not, will not bring healing to the party.
Well, I think
you don't have confidence in Damagos?
I do not have confidence.
In Damagos acting chairman capacity?
I do not have that confidence.
So if further portrays the fact that, there gonna be no way out of this situation. If you
No,
do not believe in the people and the leaders trying to set up and trying to see how they can be able to heal things.
No, the fact that I do not believe in this leadership
Senator Dino does not also believe.
It doesn't mean that there is no way forward.
We have other people who also believe.
If we can get rid of the people causing these problems, the people standing as stumbling block to true healing and reconciliation, then we might have the opportunity again.
But we might say we have people that have defected from PDP before and returned back to party. They are also the problem of your party. There are people that said they have a DNA of APC.
They are not. I will tell you one thing. Let me clarify one issue. I see those people as honorable.
Okay.
Yes. I see those people as honorable compared to those who sat in the party and worked against the party. Some of these people are PDP in the daytime, they are APC during the night, and they are also SDP in the night. So I see those who grew the balls, who summoned the courage to leave the party, as being very courageous and honorable. That's how I see them.
David Chopa, member of People's Democratic Party and stakeholder for that particular state, in respect to having to engage on the face of the People's Democratic Party in Kogi State. And what has been their reaction and concern about the judgment of the Apex Court in terms of the ruling of His Excellency Usman Ododo? Thanks so much for your concern and thought on the program tonight. We look forward to having a stable party from your state and out to the national. We are concerned, and that was why we had to highlight on this issue.
Thank you very much, Michael.
And of course, we'll go on a break, and once we return, we'll be looking at national security, the concern about the new Director General of the SS and NIA. What is their role? What is the job ahead of them? How would they be able to confront the issue of insecurity in the country? What are the strategies? What are the methods? We want a country that is self-protected, where everybody can be safe. We'll discuss that shortly after this break. Do stay with us. The thugs ahead of the Director General of the SS and NIA is also a major concern in the country where many are expecting a whole lot of reforms in tackling the security challenges in the country, which is paramount. We can't ask of development where properties and lives of Nigerians are not safe and protected. What then should we expect from the new appointees? And looking at the big office and the shoes they're trying to inherit, what should we be expecting on the tax ahead of them? I'm being joined by Dr. Ibrahim Trainer, who of course a former candidate of ADC in Katsina State gubernatorial election. Thanks so much, Doctor, for joining us on the program tonight.
Thank you.
A lot of concern about national security. We have also been having this because we're looking forward to see that farmers can return to the farms. It looks that many of the issues we're having about the economy is because a whole lot has not been done. Food inflation is high. That's the reason people are hungry. And when you look at the fact that the security chiefs are also, drawn to this issue, what is your concern about the new appointment by the president, bringing on board new DSS to handle internal security, bringing on board an intelligence expert to handle that issues of our agencies? What is your concern?
Good evening, and thank you. First of all, we have to look at the functions of the Department of or Directorate of State Security, and also look at the NIA. What are they doing? What is their relationship to the internal security that is affecting us? What we know is that the Department of State Security, their main responsibility is to protect Mr. President. And NIA is for covert operation. So, which means that there is no much relationship with these two agencies with our internal conflicts, because mostly Department of State Security, they are only there to protect Mr. President mainly. Most of the things that affect him. As I have been mentioning, and I'm going to mention it now, is that the security architecture has to be modified, has to be changed. Without changing that security architecture, you will never get what you will never achieve for so many years to come. It's not removing the heads. It is a system that the system needs to be changed. You can't continue in the same pattern of football, and you are not winning, and you continue, that means you are dull. You have to change. That is why you see Nigerian footballers, if they play like this, they see that they cannot penetrate, they change to another pattern. And that is what we are supposed to do. And besides, let me tell you, how much is their salary? Because you are paying somebody 50 to 70,000, and you are giving him a gun, and that 60 to 70,000 cannot keep him for more than a week, and you expect him to protect you? It's impossible. Even from there, the government, it shows that they are insensitive because there is no motivation, no encouragement. And these are people who today, if they are in the barrack, the moment somebody lost his life because of the country, tomorrow, after a month or less, he will be asked the family will be asked to move out of the barrack. So there are a lot of things that cumulated. Number one, we need more police. Number two, we need to apply modern scientific techniques to arrive at this. Beside that, we need to